Hey guys, welcome back. Episode 2, Focal Media Podcast. Today's guest is a dear friend and someone I called a mentor when I was younger, still younger than him. He's an absolute stud. Welcome, Mitch Little.
Thank you so much, mate. That was a nice welcome.
Oh, it was good.
Give me a big head already. You said like 3 nice things to me in the first 10 seconds. This is going to be
Got to butter him up. Got to make him feel welcome.
No, thank you for having me, mate. And love this setup. Looks unreal. So
Appreciate it, mate. So I guess I'll get right into it. And it's something I really wanted to have you on because you've had quite a bit of success recently, and it's been awesome to watch you grow. Even when you told me before this and we met in your story and what's happening, if you just want to maybe give us some background on your journey so far in life and what led you to the position you're in now.
obviously I'm involved in health and fitness for those of who don't know, but when I left school, I became a plumber. That was my, I don't want to call it my calling, but basically school wasn't my thing. Principal basically told me, like, mate, you're a great kid, but all you do is eat your lunch and play footy. You may as well go get a job. And, 20 years ago when you left school, you just became a tradie. It was, what are you going to be, a plumber, a sparky, or a chippy? So
Sparky sounds like the way to go these days.
well, my dad and brother sparkies. I wasn't smart enough for that. So boom, straight into a hole. I became a plumber. Did that for 4 years. Didn't like it. Got my PT cert at like the age of 19. Was dabbling with PT for many years, still working as a tradesman. And then I suppose really it wasn't until like the last 5 years ago that I just fully committed to personal training, got into health and fitness, started up my own personal training studio from home, because just straight off the bat, I just didn't see it being a very good business sense to go and work out of a gym and pay $500 a week of rent. I just didn't like that idea.
How'd you make the transition from plumbing to becoming the PT life? What was that like?
It wasn't like an immediate overnight thing. I pushed myself to the point where I was like, okay, I'm earning $1,000 as a PT now on the side. Let's just fully take a leap and just fully indulge into the PT life, which initially was scary. Like, if anybody's ever done a transition from a job, that was like quite terrifying at the time. But I found that when I actually cut the umbilical cord of that and put 110% focus into the PT side of things, straight away I was able to start earning more money. And that was probably a big eye-opener for me. I was like, all right, often we've got these safety nets that we feel we have to hold on to, but sometimes if you let the life raft go and just 110% dive into whatever you want, you find that you're going to have more success.
Would you call that getting like out of your comfort zone?
Oh, mate, 100%. 100%. Yeah, definitely. Had to do it. It had to be done. And then obviously I did that for, 3 or 4 years straight, and I sort of hit the ceiling, both physically, mentally, and financially. I came to like a crossroad. I was like, okay, I can't do any more PT sessions. There's just literally not enough time left in the day. So, where am I going to go? And obviously I saw that people were having success in the online scene. And that time I sort of thought, oh God, everybody else is a little bit smarter than me. Gosh, how do they do that? Anyway, I started to have a dabble in that. And then within 2 weeks of trying the online scene, I saw the potential of it, and I actually closed the doors down to my gym. And it was probably another case of like cutting another umbilical cord, backing yourself, transitioning into like the next stage of things. And yeah, here I am. And I suppose the last 6 months since May, however many months that's been, I've been able to grow a pretty decent social media following, a new business, a complete new outlook on life. And I mean, I'll never look back. But all those stepping stones obviously led to here. I'd love to say like, yeah, geez, it just happened in like 6 months. It didn't. It essentially, the journey started when I first went downstairs and did my first bench press on my brother's little dingy gym set, in the garage.
Yeah.
That's really when it started. I don't think there's no such thing as like overnight kind of success or like, whoa, you're so lucky. There's usually many, 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 many years of like learning, mistakes, if you want to even call them that, to get somebody to a certain point.
What do you reckon the biggest turning point was for you to get you to where you are in the success? Before we, I guess, jump into what you're doing now, what do you reckon was the major milestone or turning point for yourself to got you to where you are now?
Yep. Probably accepting and acknowledging the fact that I didn't know everything. I put my hand up. I asked for some help. I seek some advice from some people who are doing things a lot better than me. In particular, Sean Casey. If you're in fitness now, everybody knows who Sean Casey is. I had the pleasure of meeting him And just a half an hour conversation with Sean completely opened up my mind, motivated me to push in towards other things. And I think that's the beautiful thing about life is often if you're able to take advice off other people and understand that, I don't know everything. Like, how can I better myself? If you can take on an advice, this is when you're going to grow. So my biggest, I suppose, pivoting moment was just taking some advice from somebody else and allowing myself to grow from there and not being so stubborn and then actually putting in the work.
Yeah, okay. So I guess I like that because in terms of that, it's basically swallowing your ego, realizing that you can accelerate yourself if you are willing to accept that you don't know everything, that you can get help without devaluing yourself. Because I think I this may be from more personal experience, but the ego definitely comes out and you think you want to do it yourself or be by yourself because the ego and wanting to be the alpha or whatever it may be, I think really hinders a lot of people, like it did for me for a long time.
Well, for sure. I used to think that putting your hand up and asking for help in any way, shape or form was like a sign of weakness.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you got to do it all yourself or you're cheating or whatever the case may be. It's not like human beings learn of others and grow, and that's how we do anything. You know what I mean? Like anybody who's successful is taking a little piece from here, a little piece from there, putting their own spin on it, and obviously being self-motivated enough to make something from it. But asking people for help, it's fantastic. It's why there's coaches. It's why there's business consultants. Like you might specialize in what you do, but sometimes you need a push. Sometimes you need direction, or even just somebody to just say, hey, look, looking from the outside in, you need to be doing this. Why aren't you doing that? It's not till somebody says it that you actually go, oh, you know what? Really? Do you think I can?
Yeah.
And I have conversations now with people who, when I talk to them, like, man, you were where I was 6 months ago. Like, please believe me. Like, you can actually dramatically change your life in 6 months. And the only thing really stopping you is like your mind, your belief systems and all that sort of stuff. It's pretty amazing what you can do.
So I guess what's your outlook then in terms of like mental health and how you deal with it? Because everyone goes through their own struggles, dramas. Like everyone feels like they're alone, but realistically, we all go through the same things. What do you have like a routine and how you approach things especially when you're feeling not yourself, doubting yourself? Because you're only human.
I'm a creature of habit. I love routine. I suppose be silly to think that there's going to be never days where you don't feel a little bit down. I think that's just actually normal, regardless of whatever strategies or whatnot you've got in place. You're just going to have days where you're like a little bit down. So I accept that. But the depth of the downness can definitely be altered, I think. So for me, routine, training is the backbone of my life. And once upon a time, it was to look a certain way. Now it's to feel good physically and mentally, longevity. Going for a walk down the beach with my dog, having a laugh with my missus. There's so many little things, playing some music, editing. I think often people struggle with mental health when they don't necessarily have that thing that they like. Do you know what I mean? A hobby, play guitar. Something has to be there to stop you from drinking, taking drugs, speeding in your car. Like, I think that's really the backbone of what you need. You've got to have hobbies and these things to actually experience, to take yourself away from doing all the other stuff that's not going to get you very far.
Yeah, I love that because I do. This is coming from more recent experience again. Like I know I found myself not dealing with it correctly, 100%. Like in the last 18 months, I think I lost who I was. I lost the hobbies that I developed over kid and years, and what you saying very similar with the exercise. For some reason, I gave it up and I went to the drinking side and really spiraled out of control. Every time it come the weekend, I was craving for that sense of dopamine hit, of numbness, I should say, to escape the reality I wanted, that I was creating. But I found myself really lost. And it's like, well, I was creating my dream life. Like, you look at where we are, and I guess you've seen my journey a lot more. It's like what I've done is I think is pretty cool, and I definitely haven't done it by myself. I've had a lot of help. I appreciate everyone who's helped me along the way in terms of that. But yeah, I definitely relied on drinking to get through, and then I realized I lost myself, and now I think slapped myself back in the line and realized where it was going and why it was so toxic.
Yeah. Look, I don't think there's anything necessarily wrong with drinking. It just depends on how much of a grip it's got on you. Okay, so drinking is extremely accessible. Okay, it's a very, very easy, quick, instant gratification way of feeling good and feeling happy. I don't even drink that much, and I know that it makes you feel good, of course. But if there's an underlying issue and you're constantly reaching for the bottle, weekends, parties, all that
during
sort of
the week
stuff.
for me, I was
Yeah,
getting
during the
blind
week,
by myself. Like, it was bad.
You're never ever giving yourself the chance to actually focus on what the issue is. And when you get off it for a little bit and start focusing on your hobbies and all that sort of stuff, you realize that there's actually there's better things to do. Like for me, okay, the reason I don't really drink that much is because it doesn't really sit very well with me mentally. But even when I do drink every now and then, wake up feeling a little bit,
not yourself, or
I'm like, man, I get more kicks out of walking my dog and having a coffee and watching the sunrise. I get more kicks out of going to the bars at Burleigh and doing some Cali stuff. Those things are just more enjoyable than drinking for me. That's why I don't really do it much. If drinking beat that, sure, come on in drinking. It doesn't beat it.
Yeah, and I get it's also puts you in a certain environment that long term isn't healthy, especially if you have goals and aspirations to where you want to get to. It only lasts for so long. And, we all go on the, I guess, similar journey. You're young, you get in the party scene, then you realize there's more to life. But I feel like some people get stuck in that and really delays their success in what's possible.
I just don't think you can argue the fact that there aren't more benefits to having some time off alcohol. Yeah. There just are. And that's not me being a goody two-shoe or anything, but your mental clarity, your focus, your ability to keep consistency in every other aspect of your life just improves more when you drink less. Like a Saturday hangover isn't just a Saturday morning hangover, okay? That drags into the week. Short fused. I was hungover Saturday, so I didn't get this done or that. Then I think things just compile, and it's not until like 12 months down the track where you realize, like, oh my God, there are fires around me that I've not even attempted to put out.
Yeah. You just let them build up, and I think, you get anxious and you go, just push it away and I don't want to deal with it.
But I mean, then again, you get people who seem to manage every single weekend, partying and whatnot doesn't affect their lives. I mean, that cool. All power to you. Do you know what I mean? If that's how you can function, great. Like that's
it's not for everyone. It's rare.
Each to their own. Yeah, I'm not one of those people like, sobriety is the only way, or like you're the worst person. Not the case at all. I think you've just got to take a good hard look at your situation and ask yourself, like, am I drinking for this reason? Should I actually get? We all have to check ourselves. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
And the question can sometimes be a little bit hard to ask. Socially, it can be hard as well because, I mean, typically Australia, men, you're not drinking. Wow, See you later, mate. We're not going to call you up anymore. Expect to lose some friends.
Yeah.
Expect to lose some friends. But at the end of the day, I have actually found that through not drinking as much or feeling pressured to do so, the people that I've actually attracted to my life, like for me, have helped me develop more to where I want to be. You just get what you attract, I think.
I guess going on the topic of where you are now, how has it worked? Because, was it 6 months ago you had 2,000 followers maybe? And it was called the Mudgebar Zoo.
Yeah. So, which, it was a great stage of my life too. I actually didn't make the name of the Mudgebar Zoo. My wife did. But I remember when she made that name, I was like, that's a terrible name. And no one's going to come to that. But it kicked off, like it went really well. But I suppose in a sense of I
heard there was a rumor that people used to ring you going, oh, so where's the zoo at? I wanted to bring my kids.
I got more calls from grandparents asking where the zoo is because they wanted to take their kids on the weekend. I let people down for like 5 years. It was really hard. Like I got to the point where I was like, you know what, man? Like I've got a dog. Like you feel free to bring your kids over. They can pat my dog. But there's no giraffe, there's no nothing. Like it started to become a bit of an issue. But it was actually like this crazy good marketing scheme that I never saw coming. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, actually that makes sense because so many people were, I guess, inquiring. If you're switched on, you could almost try to convert them.
Or imagine if I call it the Mudgebar Fitness Facility. No one wants to come there. I want to come to the zoo, man. So it was fantastic. Like, you know what I mean? It was fantastic.
So good. Did you ever get any clients out of people when they called you?
Yeah. I did. I actually did. Yeah, it was bizarre. It was just weird. It was a weird setup. But, I suppose looking back from a social media side of things compared to when I was running my gym to now I'm talking to larger volumes of people, my old content was terrible. It was about me. I'll be sitting there like, yeah, you know, it'd be a great idea for a reel today. I'm going to go downstairs, take my shirt off and do some bicep curls. That's going to really make everybody feel good. Okay. That was for me. That's like, you know, that was feeding my own ego, or even me thinking this is going to inspire people. That doesn't inspire Sharon to get up off the couch and start her fitness journey. So now I get to be 100% organic myself, and every piece of content that I provide is not about me, it's about my followers, because they're the ones that allow me to do my job. Without them, I don't have this. So my content is for them, my content is solving problems for them, and that is what makes a social media account grow. And just like I said, be yourself. We've all seen social media accounts before where people, like, you don't even know the individual. You can look at them and be like, nah, something sus about this dude. Yeah. That doesn't really seem like them. There's a bit of an act there. There's I don't like your character. You give me a bad vibe. They're the accounts that don't tend to do so well.
Yeah, wow. So what you found as your breakthrough was, instead of focusing on content that you wanted to create, you wanted to provide as much value to your viewers in your own personality, is the way I saw that.
Yep. Good content that's going to actually serve a purpose and solve people's problems, and sprinkle your personality onto it as well. Because at the end of the day, yes, you know, my followers want to be educated about health and fitness and how to lose weight and whatnot. But I'm still very well aware that content is content, and it's we pop the TV on or go on our phones for some entertainment at the end of the day. So if I'm able to get a good mixture of like, you know, my personality, some humor, but also have some decent information in there, well, it's a pretty dangerous combination. Like that's what people want to watch. You know, if I was to just go like, hey everybody, this is banana, it's got 20 grams of carbohydrates, see you later.
Yeah, it's posting content for the sake of it. If you do it like that, you think you're providing value, but it's just like, it's not enough to make someone stop who's on a mission to get entertained, basically is the way I look at it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like it. Because I guess one thing, we've had, many discussions on this as well, is like, how does someone evolve what you do within fitness into their own market? Like, what's the key points you would take? Like, if you had to become literally, I guess, a real estate agent, because we deal with a lot of them now, what would you do as a real estate agent if you had to move industries? How's your content? I
could sell the shit out of a house. Okay, no dramas at all. Yeah. So, you know, not that I follow a lot of real estate agents, but it's usually like a bloke in a really fancy suit, or a beautiful young girl walking through the house with heels on, and I would just get a little bit more real with them. Do you know what I mean? Like, sell the dream. Get down to a personal level with an individual. Like, what was my experiences when I bought a house? Okay, I would be like, hey guys, this is 58 Fletcher Street at Mudgeeraba. Beautiful home. But you've got to be like, look, I remember how nervous I was when I bought my own house. Here's a few things that might ease your mind. You know what I mean? Boom. So straight away you're connecting with the person, you're providing information, and you're not getting above them, you're not getting below them, you're sitting right next to them and like walking them through the process of like buying a house. Don't just show them like the beautiful, you know, ensuite or whatnot. I suppose this person's problem with buying a house is the fear of it. That's probably what I would do. Just be a little bit more real about things. Because I think sometimes real estate agents can seem like multi-millionaires driving around fancy cars. It's all flash. It's like, I don't want to see that. Yeah. I'd rather see Barry wearing a pair of thongs and a blue singlet, being like, come on through here. Let's talk some facts. Yeah. Yeah, being straight real, cutting through the bullshit, I guess in real estate, a lot of it is look at me still. I see very much of it. Like it's, I just sold this, or I just listed that, or check out my video, instead of going, yeah, hey, if you're thinking of selling your house and you're freaking out of what to do next, if you do sell it with an agent, these are the 3 things I would do to make sure you have a home when moving, or something about them to ease their mind with a strategy, regardless of if they help come with you or not. You're helping provide value. I think you hit the nail on the head, and people may not realize it, but so many people who are creating content, whether it be real estate agents, fitness professionals, whatever the case may be, it's still very ego driven. There's something in it for them. Like, I'm doing this for my own gratification. Whereas if you just completely forget about you, okay, you're not that special. Everything you should do should be for them. That's when things are going to sell. That's when you'll get more followers. That's when you'll grow. It needs to be more of a community based thing. That's why people are drawn to anything. People want to be part of things. So if there's a real estate agent that's pumping out all that sort of vibe, you're going to be selling some houses. Like my real estate agent, the reason I loved him, he was super laid back. Walked in the house, hey mate, let me know if you've got any questions. Oh, cheers. You're not going to like harass me? No. That's what I like. Yeah. When I wanted some simple answers, he gave them to me, made me feel comfortable.
Yeah, I guess the fear of being sold to dropped because he was just like, oh, like, do you like the house or don't you like the house? Like, if you got some questions, let me know. You're like, oh, what about the stairs? Oh, the stairs may be this, that. Or he goes, to be honest, I don't know much about the stairs.
Yeah.
Like, I just know the house and the value and what the clients are offering. And
exactly, just being completely real. Like, for example, I sell, little cheap ebooks on my website just to help people get started with their health and fitness journey, calorie-controlled meals, etc. I'll let people know, like, hey, you can actually get all this stuff for free off my reels.
Yeah.
Okay? But if you feel like supporting my page, go for it.
Yeah.
Do it or don't. Up to you.
I guess that's the other thing I think a lot of people have a misconception is with the content, if they give too much away, people will just do it for free, but they won't. There still always has to be someone there to help them.
Give as much away as possible.
Yeah.
I have people message me almost daily saying, hey, I'm aware that I'm not one of your clients, but I just want to let you know, thank you so much. Since following your content, I've lost X amount of kilos and I've changed my relationship with food. For me, hand on heart, I get pumped about that. You haven't given me $1, but I'm excited about the fact that you have had a positive experience through my business, through my social media. And then that person that's had success essentially becomes a walking billboard for me anyway. Hey, Barry, you're looking great. How'd you do that? Followed this bloke online. How much did you pay him? Nothing. Oh. So it all goes around. Yep. Just create positivity and people are going to be drawn to you.
Just keep giving, basically.
Just keep giving.
Yeah.
Just like
I guess it comes back. I can't remember where I saw it, but it's, if you're giving with the intent of asking for something in return, I think people feel that very quickly.
Yeah.
And I'm guilty of that with my content, even with my ads in the past. Like, the best performing ones are the ones that I didn't care about selling. I'm like, hey, this is who we are. This is what we do. If you sort of want help with it, just let me know. Otherwise, this is what you need to do to get stuff to work or content or whatever.
It's black and white.
Yeah.
It's black and white. You put people at ease straight away. I see a lot of people doing reels where you could watch it with no sound on it and you know that it's an ad. I know you're trying to sell something to me. The font, the icons, the everything about it, it is an ad. I don't want to be sold anything right now. I want to be entertained. And if you entertain me for long enough, maybe I'll give you something one day. But I don't care if you don't either.
Yeah. I guess that's a good way to look at it. Because, I guess even some of our stuff, I've gone to too much overproducing in a way. And I think that's actually had a negative impact on some of our stuff. And not our high-end stuff, but like more educational stuff. I'm trying to make it as cool as possible, but maybe as simple as possible is the best way.
I believe so. Because everyday people...
And this is coming from a guy that literally gets tens of thousands of views per reel consistently as well. Like
yeah.
Like, it's simple as best. Like, I saw you set up the other day. We went around playing with the camera. The thing's half blurry, not the best colors.
I'm an awful videographer. Terrible. But this is probably a really good example that people are going to hang around and watch your content, even if it's a little bit fuzzy or there's something a little not quite right. I think definitely being in film and stuff, sometimes we can look at like got to be the crispest picture ever. If it's not like IMAX quality, get it out of here. Like, if the sound's not like perfectly orchestrated, we're not going to do it. Whereas what is actually providing the information why people are hanging around is what you're saying, is what you're doing, is how you're delivering it. People can forgive you for stuff, you know what I mean? If my reels were getting graded on like the video quality and the frames per second, I'd get a D-. Okay? But a perfect example, some of the top dogs, some of the top people within the industry now film off an iPhone and they're just filming everything and editing everything on their phone. Yeah, that's it. No videographers, no nothing. Just them in a tripod.
Just make it. There's just simplifying the process, and I guess in that way, it's repeatable all the time. You're not relying on like the best lighting or the best camera. Like, oh, my videographer's not here. I can't shoot. What do I do? It's just like, oh,
Keep coming back. People like predictability as well.
Yeah.
People like to know, like, all right, I'm going to come onto this page. I know what the style is going to be. I sort of know what to expect.
Yeah.
Keep watching it. Predictably good. That's why people keep going back to Macca's. It's the same every time. Cheeseburger's the same every time. Doesn't matter where you go around the world.
Yeah, and if you have too much diversity, people don't know what to expect, and therefore they can't get attached to it either, maybe.
Home and Away. How long's Home and Away been running? 100,000 years. Okay. 3 things happen on Home and Away. The diner burns down, the river boys come to town, and there's a car crash. That's all they do. They repeat that 3 times a year, but keep coming back to watch it, don't you? Why?
So true. Yeah, it's the same drama on repeat with new faces.
Yeah.
Yeah, wow.
Amazing.
I actually like that. I like it when you dissect the content at its truest form. It's like that's basically what it is.
Well, content's interesting. So I was a very, very big victim of the algorithm hates me. The algorithm's broken. My content is so good, it should be getting views. Okay. And I know heaps of people fall into that frame of mind because I've done well over the last 6 months and I've still in that period of 6 months slipped back into that old frame of mind. Hang on, Mitch. Let's pull everything apart. Let's look at your analytics. Let's look at what was working and what wasn't. If it's not working, if you're not growing, it's not the algorithm, it's you. So you have to solve the problem. Ask yourself the hard questions. And I did. And I was like, oh, my content shit. My content shit.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Makes sense. That's why nobody wants to watch it. Change it. And I remember doing that in the last month or so. The next day, things took off again. So you got to check yourself all the time.
It's being accountable even for your own content. Instead, you've found yourself in a rut where you're like, nah, Instagram doesn't like me. I know what I'm doing. Leave me alone. Instead of going, oh, nah, I looked in the mirror. I realized, yeah, it was shit.
Yeah, for sure. Like whenever on my phone, I'm not looking at other people's pages. Like how many times I've had conversations with you, other people, they're like, oh, do you know such and such? Do you know such and such? I'm like, nah, I don't know anybody. Because I'm just focusing on my own race. I analyze my own content. I look at my analytics because that's the time well spent essentially that's going to help push my business ahead because I want to produce content that my followers are interested in. And I even remember when I changed my content, I had somebody message me, one of my followers. He said, hey bro, where have you been? Your reels haven't been popping up on my feed. Light bulb moment. Nothing I was doing was getting pushed.
Yeah, wow.
Nothing. Dead.
Sure. And what's dead for you in terms of view-wise?
It wasn't so much the views. It was just the fact that my views weren't reaching external pages.
Okay.
They weren't going anywhere. So now when I look at a reel, it will say like, oh, this reel reached 200,000 extra accounts instead of 10.
Yeah.
And that's what makes your page grow.
And that's the data you're worried about. It's not the recurring accounts. It's the new accounts.
The new accounts.
The new touch points.
New touch points. Yeah. It's like just getting new leads from a business, really.
Yep.
Yeah.
And your leads are all organic. There's no fancy referral systems, that directly from your content that you post organically.
I've never paid $1 for any advertising ever.
Yeah, wow. And you're doing extremely, extremely well.
Yeah.
And what people would die for, you're doing. But it's all the consistency. It's analyzing. It's realizing that you can improve day on day.
It's being extremely consistent. It's being extremely passionate about what you do. I truly believe that if you just genuinely love what you do, you're going to succeed from it anyway. Let's just say I wasn't doing health and fitness at all as a career. I would still more than likely film content. I would still be exercising every single day. I would still be talking to people about it. So that just shows me that my passion for what I do is what also draws people in. Because if you tried to get me to sell that vase, I'd probably sell like 3 of them. I don't really like vases. I don't know anything about it. Don't know how it was made. I can't really, I'm not going to get a stiffy over the vase. Yeah. So I've got to really be into what I do.
Extremely passionate then creates that want to help.
Yeah. So have you ever spoken to somebody who they could be talking about stamps, right? Yeah. And they're getting so amped up about it. You don't even like stamps. After 5 minutes, you're like, I'm actually considering starting a stamp collection because of you. Your passion is insane.
Yeah.
That's what people love to be around.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. If you had to if you had to give, I guess, business owners, watchers, maybe, I imagine you get a lot of young guys wanting to push into the fitness industry. What's the single biggest piece of advice you would give someone, whether they're a business owner or wanting to pursue their own career in the fitness space?
Be consistent, be passionate, and be patient as well. People want things to happen overnight, particularly I think we do live in a generation where there are 20-year-olds who are making $50 million a week, whatever. Fantastic. It's very rare. Be patient, enjoy the ride, enjoy what you do, and eventually the compounding effects of everything that you do are eventually going to lead you to somewhere. I do relate everything back to the gym in a sense, progressional overload. Something seems hard at the start, a lift is hard, you get better, you get better, you get better. Then you look back 5 years and you're like, holy Christ, I'm actually looking all right at the moment. I think that's what business is like as well.
Yeah. That makes sense. I guess, I can directly relate to that, and I can appreciate that too. The moment your foot's off the throttle and you're not consistent, regardless of what you're doing, content, business, gym, trying to learn how to play guitar, you literally, it will feel a million times harder, and you'll get in your own head, and you're more likely to stop than you are to start. But all you need to do is show up every day for yourself.
Every single day. Turn up. I'll always say to my clients, when I sign them up for a weight loss plan, they're always, people who try and lose weight are always thinking about, what can I do in 2 weeks to get all this weight off? It's not what you can do in 2 weeks. It's what you're actually going to do over a lifetime, because health and fitness has got no end date. Okay. So instead of trying to think about being extremely perfect and rigid and tough on yourself for 2 weeks, be consistently average for a lifetime. That's all you have to do. And you're always going to be where you want to be.
I love that. I love that. What's the next step for Mitch Little Academy?
Well, I'm winging it so far, to be completely honest. I still wake up every single day trying to sort my life out. Okay, looks like a smooth running operation from the outset, but I'm still learning. Yep. So, like I said to you the other day, what I wanted to get out of this whole experience is just continue to enjoy what I do. If I can wake up and just enjoy everything that I do and be excited, like this, for example, awesome. Yep. Like doing this. This is essentially has worked for me. So if I can thrive doing things that I enjoy and I'm just happy, I'm just going to let things take wherever they want to go. I'm sure I will eventually get a little bit more of a direction, like this is what I want to focus on. Like I said, I'd like to do some speaking stuff within the next 12 months. But besides that, my focus is just continuing to just deliver what I'm delivering. Yeah.
No, I appreciate it, man. And I do appreciate you coming in. It's I guess for the viewers, it's probably the first podcast, but we used to have one. We attempted one back in the day.
Yeah, well, you know what? We live and learn, don't we? So you've stepped it up a bit, mate.
I like the heat, so apart from that bedroom where we had the makeshift desk. And
you've stepped it up, mate. Very fancy. This is a good setup.
No, I appreciate it, mate. No, I appreciate you coming in, and hopefully the viewers got some wisdom out of it, because I think you have a lot of knowledge to share, especially when it comes to not just weight loss but content, and how to run a business and how to adapt very quickly to what works.
Yeah, I try my best, mate.
No,
thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Appreciate it. Cheers, mate.
Legend.